What if everything you've heard about intermittent fasting is only half the truth? Some say it boosts metabolism, others warn it destroys it. But here's the real question no one asks. Does intermittent fasting actually improve your metabolism, or just sound good on social media? Stay till the end, because the final verdict may change how you eat forever. Intermittent fasting is one of the most searched health trends in the world. Millions follow it, few understand it. Today we're breaking down viral fasting myths, what metabolic science actually says, who fasting helps, and who it can hurt. No influencers, no extremes, just evidence-based clarity. Intermittent fasting is not a diet, it is a way of timing your meals. Instead of focusing on what you eat, it focuses on when you eat. Let's know about most popular intermittent fasting methods. 16-8 method. You fast for 16 hours and eat within an 8-hour window. For example, you eat from 12 noon to 8 p.m. and fast the rest of the time. This is the most common and beginner-friendly method. 18-6 method. You fast for 18 hours and eat during a 6-hour window, such as 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. This is a slightly stricter version of 16.8 and is often used by people who are already comfortable with fasting. OMAD, 1 meal a day. You eat only one main meal in the entire day, usually within 1 hour. The rest of the day is spent fasting. This method is more advanced and not suitable for everyone. 5-2 method. You eat normally for 5 days a week. On 2 non-consecutive days, you reduce your calorie intake significantly, usually to about 500 to 600 calories. The core idea behind all these methods is metabolic switching. During fasting, the body shifts from burning glucose, sugar, to burning stored fat for energy. But does this automatically boost metabolism? That's where many myths begin. Let's expose the first myth. This fear dominates Google searches. If I skip meals, won't my metabolism crash? Short answer is no, not in the short term. Scientific studies show fasting up to 48 hours can increase metabolic rate. But here's the twist. Chronic undereating can slow metabolism. Fasting alone doesn't. This myth exists because people confuse intermittent fasting and starvation dieting. The next myth is where most people accidentally sabotage their results. Fasting does increase fat burning, but fat burning is not equal to fat loss. Here's what science says. Fasting raises fat oxidation. Total fat loss still depends on weekly calories. You can fast all day and erase the benefit with overeating at night. Studies comparing intermittent fasting versus calorie restriction show similar fat loss when calories are equal. So fasting isn't magic, it's a structure tool. This myth causes the most harm because metabolism isn't just about food, it's about stress, sleep, hormones, and lifestyle. Research shows fasting responses differ by gender, activity level, cortisol levels, and insulin sensitivity. Some people feel focused, energized, and leaner. Others experience fatigue, brain fog, and hormonal disruption. Science doesn't say fasting is bad, it says it's context dependent. There is another myth that breakfast is the most important meal of the day, and this myth has been taught for decades, but science disagrees. Latest research now shows that skipping breakfast does not inherently slow metabolism. Meal timing matters less than protein and nutrients. Some people thrive with breakfast, others improve insulin sensitivity by delaying it. Your metabolism doesn't run on clocks, it responds to signals. The honest scientific consensus is that intermittent fasting can improve insulin sensitivity, reduce overeating, and increase metabolic flexibility, but it does not override poor diet. It guarantees weight loss. Intermittent fasting is as effective as traditional dieting, not superior. Its advantages come with consistency. Intermittent fasting may work well if you prefer fewer meals, struggle with late-night snacking, and want dietary simplicity. It may not suit you if you have high chronic stress, feel weak while fasting, have a history of disordered eating, are pregnant, or under medical care. Before we reach the final verdict, there's one critical truth about intermittent fasting that almost no one talks about. Not influencers, not headlines, not even most studies. If you miss this part, you might apply fasting correctly and still fail. Let's talk about what really controls your metabolism. Intermittent fasting isn't powerful because you eat less. It's powerful because it can improve something called metabolic flexibility. That's your body's ability to switch between burning glucose and burning fat. A flexible metabolism adapts, and an inflexible one struggles, regardless of diet. Science shows fasting can improve flexibility, but only if the body is healthy enough to adapt. If your metabolism is already stressed, fasting becomes another stressor. This is where most people go wrong. Here's the hormone that decides whether fasting helps or hurts. Cortisol. Fasting increases cortisol. That's normal. But chronic stress already keeps cortisol high. Now combine poor sleep, work stress, overtraining, and emotional stress. Add fasting on top, and suddenly fat loss stalls, hunger increases, and energy crashes. Science shows elevated cortisol impairs insulin sensitivity and encourages fat storage. Remember, fasting doesn't fail. Context does. Why some people gain weight from fasting. This shocks people. How can eating less cause weight gain? The possible reasons are elevated cortisol, poor recovery, and compensatory overeating. Your body doesn't measure calories in isolation. It responds to perceived safety, and if fasting signals stress instead of flexibility, your metabolism becomes defensive. This isn't weakness, it's biology. Another overlooked issue is muscle preservation. Long fasting windows plus low protein intake is loss of lean mass. Muscle isn't just for strength, it's metabolically active tissue. Lose muscle leads to lower resting metabolism. Studies show that adequate protein intake offsets this risk. Resistance training is non-negotiable, and fasting without protein strategy is incomplete. Instead of asking, "Is intermittent fasting good?" just ask, "Is my metabolism ready for it?" A healthy metabolism tolerates stress, as a stress metabolism needs support first. Sometimes the smartest move isn't fasting, it's stabilizing. Now that you understand what truly drives metabolic success, we can finally answer the question honestly. Is intermittent fasting right for you? Let's bring everything together. The science says it's not a miracle, it's not dangerous by default, it's a tool, not a requirement. Your metabolism improves through consistency, proper nourishment, and sustainable habits. If this breakdown helped you cut through the noise, subscribe for more science-based health content, because real health isn't extreme, it's informed.